If Jesus is God, then who was he praying to? This single question has served as a primary stumbling block for skeptics, a point of confusion for new believers, and a source of intense debate for theologians for over 2,000 years. On the surface, the scene looks like a logical impossibility. We see Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, sweating drops of blood, crying out to a Father in heaven to let a cup of suffering pass from him. If he is the Almighty, to whom is he submitting his will? Is he merely talking to himself? Is he performing a divine play for the benefit of an audience? Or does the answer reveal a truth about the nature of reality that is far more profound than our modern simplified minds are prepared to accept? To understand the prayers of Jesus, we must first strip away the cultural filters that have flattened our view of the divine. We have been taught to think of God as a solitary, isolated individual, a singular monad sitting on a throne. But the Bible presents a different picture. It presents a God who is one yet eternally relational. In the very first chapter of the very first book, a strange linguistic anomaly appears that many readers simply gloss over. In Genesis chapter 1, God says, "Let us make man in our image." He does not say, "Let me make man in my image." This is not a grammatical error. It is a revelation of the inner life of the Creator. Before the sun was formed, before the stars were flung into the void, before time itself had a beginning, God existed in a state of eternal relationship. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit were in a constant, perfect exchange of love and communication. Therefore, when Jesus begins his earthly ministry, his prayers are not a new habit he picked up to look pious. They are the continuation of a conversation that has been happening for eternity. He is not a man trying to reach a distant God. He is the eternal Son continuing his dialogue with the eternal Father, now doing so through the medium of human vocal cords and a human heart. The problem we face is that we misunderstand the nature of the Incarnation. We often think of Jesus as God simply wearing a human suit like an actor in a costume. But the Scriptures tell a much more radical story. In the book of Philippians, we are told that Christ emptied himself. He did not stop being God, but he chose to stop functioning in his divine advantage. He accepted the limitations of a human brain, human emotions, and human dependence. He became the second Adam. Think of the contrast. The first Adam was in a perfect garden and chose independence, trying to become like God through his own effort. The last Adam, Jesus, was in a fallen world and chose total dependence, showing us what it actually looks like to be fully human. He prayed because a human being, by design, is a creature of dependence. By praying, Jesus was not proving he wasn't God. He was proving he had truly become man. When you hear Jesus cry out on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" you are witnessing the most mysterious moment in the history of the universe. In that moment, the relational harmony that had existed before time was disrupted by the weight of human sin. He wasn't just reciting a psalm for effect. He was experiencing the raw, terrifying reality of a human soul separated from its source. This is why his prayers matter to you today. If Jesus had only functioned as God on earth, his life would be a distant, unattainable ideal. But because he prayed as a man, experiencing hunger, exhaustion, and the silence of heaven, he became a bridge. He is the only one who can stand in the gap because he has walked on both sides of it. He knows the heights of divine glory and the depths of human desperation. So when we ask why Jesus prayed, we are actually asking about the heart of God. We are discovering that God is not a cold, distant force, but a relational being who invites us into the same conversation he has been having with himself since the beginning. Prayer is not a religious ritual designed to appease a deity. It is the language of the family of God. It is the way we participate in the life of the Trinity. Jesus didn't pray because he was weak. He prayed because he was in love with the Father. And his invitation to us is to stop trying to survive on our own strength and to join that same eternal dialogue. The throne of grace is not a courtroom, it is a homecoming. And the one who leads the conversation is the one who took on our flesh, used our breath, and felt our pain so that we would never have to pray alone again.